So I have two things I could do tonight. I didn't expect to be the first performer, so neither of them are going to be super polished, but I have two things. I'm going to leave it to you. This week has been a lot of me mediating for friends who are having a fight, and that leads to a piece I have called Dreams of Glass. The other thing I have is, because today we put Trump back in power for some reason, I have a piece called Red Wall, which really isn't mine. But it's more of a persist and fight through. Do you have a preference? Dreams of Glass or the Red Wall?
Whatever your heart says.
Dreams of Glass. One of the hardest things we have in life that we haven't understood, or that we're constantly trying to understand, is us. And this piece is about that. It's called Dreams of Glass. I had a dream where I was made of glass, where you were made of glass, and the whole world was made of glass and mirrors. And more desperately than anything else in this dream, as I wanted to know what shape I was. But I'm not just a pane of glass in this dream. You weren't a pane of glass. Each of us was a sculpture, twisted and bending, some of us graceful, others with holes, others with sharp spikes in all directions. But the problem is, our ability to see was inside of this glass. And you can't look out of glass that bends and spins or has spikes and see clearly. Your own shape distorts what you see. Worse, it turns out the only way that I could tell what my shape was by interacting with other people's glass shapes, or the world and its shape. But I couldn't see the world without seeing it through my own soul. And likewise, while I could see myself in you, my vision was distorted not only by myself, by my shape, but also by the shape of you. I had a dream that we were all glass, and that we were all desperately trying to figure out who we were. Was I good? Was I bad? Was I a mixture of these things? I know I hurt people. Are there parts of me that are spikes? I know that people have reached out to me and this. Do I have holes in parts of me? How was I supposed to know? And every time I tried to look, all I could see was myself bent in different places. And every direction I looked, it would be a different part of myself. So what I found I had to do was interact with person after person after person after person. Maybe less trying to see a specific part of myself and more a general outline. Who was I? What was I? And as I started figuring out who I was, maybe I learned terrible things about myself. There are places I have spikes or sharp edges. There are places where I have holes and people try to reach out and they just miss. There are places where I was hoping to interact with others, and it turns out we did not work together well. But even in these situations, we ran into each other and cracked our glass, I still learned about myself. I still learned about others. And this, I think, is the hardest part about being alive. I had a dream that we were made of glass, that each of us was made of glass, and we wanted so badly to know how we fit in this world, but it seemed so impossible. How are you supposed to know where you fit in the world if you don't know your own shape, if you don't know the shape of people around you? How are you supposed to come up with protocols for actually having meaningful exchanges? And I found, as I get older, the experiences of all of these people that I've met, for good, for bad, where I am so ashamed of my behavior, or places where I am glowingly proud of how I stood up for myself or others, gives me a hint. I may not know the shape of my soul, but I've now seen myself reflected through my own twisted sides, and through your twisted sides, a little bit of myself, a little bit of you. And that's what we're doing here together on this stage. That's one of the things of the open mic. That's any time that we interact, but especially here on our stage. I'm showing you a little of myself, seeing through the old twisted sides of my glass, looking at you in yours, and together we learn a little bit about who we really are. And that makes the dream a happy.